There was supposed to be 8 days of sunny vacation, then quarantine came just to end it. So the singular problem of our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like maybe reading a cool book or playing a board game or baking a cake with my mom. Filming viral TikToks on my bedroom floor or clicking through Instagram stories. Playing video games, watching my anime, hogging the ration supplies. Toilet paper, freeing the penguins and FaceTiming all my friends, bugging my teachers online. As you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff to do before school starts this. I don't know. So stick around for Hosen and Buckler, cause they're gonna make you smart. So stick around for Hosen and Buckler, cause they're gonna make you smart. 500 IQ, guaranteed.
Hey GSPers, this is Miss Buckler here for your intro to the week video. We're starting week 2 of this last project of the 2019-2020 school year. So stay tuned. I've got several topics to talk about, and we're going to break down the project from last week, and then we're going to talk about what we're doing this week. We've got some STEMmy stuff to talk about, and then we've also got a Genius Hour update. So follow along. All right, so STEMmy nominations. STEMmies is our end of the year celebration where we hand out awards for certain categories, and then each class is going to hand out a STEMmy to celebrate the student that really embodied the elements of that class. So what we need you guys to do is take a look at the Google form link on the GSP eLearning page. It's as an announcement from Miss Hossein. And we need you guys to nominate who you think best represent the following 4 categories. So number 1 is most revolutionary. Who do you know in the freshman class that has just really come up with the best, most out of the box thinking and has been the most revolutionary group member that you've worked with or student in your class? Category number 2 is best group member. Who is the person that you always want to work with? Who's the person that not only has an amazing product and really helps with the group work, but also pushes everybody else to be a good group member? Third category is most positive. Who are you always so happy to be around? Who really pushes the class to have fun and to really enjoy the moment? And then our last category is for you to think about who has really pushed themselves to grow and become the best student that they can be for this school year. So who's the most improved? Don't forget to nominate who you think deserves each category and then explain just a little bit about why you think they deserve it. All right, let's review last week. So last Monday was the due date for your Alchemist Raft assignment. I want to say to those of you that did get it turned in, wonderful job. The artwork is beautiful. The choose your own adventures are fairly funny. And the poems were really well written. Some of the movie posters were very well done. I'd be very interested to watch some of those movies. So make sure that if you didn't get it turned in, get that turned in. Then we introduced you guys to our last project. This project is focusing on investigative journalism, and it's called The Truth Is Out There. So if you, side note we're referencing when we give you that title, go ahead and comment in the video comments below, and there may be a PBIS point in there for you. So with that, you guys had some knows and need to knows that you needed to put out. Ms. Hossein was able to respond to all of your need to knows on the discussion thread, so make sure that if you haven't figured out the answers to those yet, go check out her answers. A few of the popular ones that we saw quite a bit were with in reference to groups. So this is not a group project. However, at the end, if you wanted to use some partners to help you turn in your final product, by all means do that. We'll talk about that later. We also had some questions about what were the topics. So if you recall on last Tuesday, you guys had a Google form that gave you the 5 topics, and you were to basically tell us which one are you most interested in. So we want to make sure that you guys are looking back at that Google form and looking through the questions that we've compiled and choosing the one that you're interested in. And then lastly, there was a question about what was the final product going to look like. So think about, what are the different ways that news is put out there? What are the different mediums that are used to get the ideas and news and stories out there to the people in the community? Okay, so the rubric should be on this week's agenda. We'll talk about that later. All right, and then lastly, the major assignment from last week was an example of a massive global collaborative journalistic effort to expose a massive cover-up, basically, of people in power basically hiding their money from their home countries. Now, we noticed that a lot of people weren't quite sure why this was such a big deal or why it was our business to know what those people were doing with their monies. Here's the deal. When people in power are hiding and avoiding responsibilities and commitments to society, that's when journalism steps in. Journalism's main purpose is to make sure that those in power are being held accountable for their actions. And to the degree that the Paradise Papers really expose these people, shows that the powerful and the influential and the wealthy were really being sneaky and inappropriate with these actions. A lot of you also weren't quite sure what was the purpose of taxes. Why are taxes and how other people pay them, how does that matter to me? And this is where understanding the social contract comes in. When a person's born into or agrees to live in a society, they're effectively signing a social contract that agrees that in exchange for me complying with all the laws and the social norms, society's going to take care of me. And that has to do with the contract between me and my government as well. And the basis of that contract are taxes, right? So the government provides and creates all of these goods and services for society to use and to be protected by. And the only thing that we have to do in exchange, in addition to, again, agreeing to the laws and social norms, is to pay taxes to fund those projects. So as a teenager, you may feel like that's not a big deal to me because I don't have to pay taxes. But when you think about it, it comes down to, what are the public goods and services that are being paid for with taxes? And number one, as a student, is your public school. Your teachers, the buildings, the supplies, the opportunities are all paid for by taxes. And if the taxes aren't taking care of what they need to take care of, then the entire system is affected. Right? So not only are students not getting quality education or quality opportunities, but then as you guys leave school and enter society, you are less than prepared to continue to take care of society the way the social contract dictates. But in addition to that, there's also public roads, which is how we get anywhere and everywhere in addition to our jobs. There's also national, state, and public parks. So places that we use for entertainment and for health purposes. There's funds for colleges, and there's funds for health services. There's the police force, the fire department, your local government. All of that is paid for through taxes. So if you are avoiding paying your fair share of taxes, you are directly affecting everyone else's ability to function as a society. And that is why journalism, investigative journalism in particular, is important, and why it's important for you to sometimes be involved in someone else's business. On to this week. So this week is your chance to really start digging more into the topic that you're going to choose, but also the method in which you're going to get some information about that topic. So Tuesday, we're going to look at vocab, and we're going to look a little bit more at community partners and information about investigative journalism. But starting on Wednesday, you're going to have what we're calling a choose your own topic adventure, where it's going to be similar to the choose your own adventure Google slideshow that we had you guys use, where when you click, it guides you to where you choose to go. So that's going to be your chance to look through the questions, look through the topics, and then guide yourself to some basic sources and resources that Ms. Hossein and I have provided for you to help you better understand what is the issue and what are the facts. This is going to be continued on Thursday. And then for Thursday, when you're done with that assignment, there's going to be a reflection that's going to ask you guys to think about what were the sources that you were digging into, what are some sources that maybe you found on your own, and how are they trustworthy? So this is going to give us a chance to look back at the media bias chart that we looked at for the Columbus Holiday Bike Ride. So looking at not only the political left or right lean, but also the fact reporting versus analysis of the fact versus the opinion of the fact. So make sure you're paying attention to not only the y-axis, but also the x-axis on the media bias chart. So that's going to be what we're focusing on this week. And then lastly, like I kind of mentioned earlier, there's going to be a few community partner videos that you guys are going to watch. And each community partner has chosen a topic that Ms. Hossein and I kind of interviewed them about. And they're going to answer some questions about journalism. So this is kind of your chance to better understand what is a journalist and what are the issues and struggles that a journalist may encounter in today's age. Each video is accompanied by a kind of guided question quiz. Each person has 2 chances to take the quiz. They're pretty straightforward. They really focus on the main ideas of each video and basically the lesson we want you to get out of the video. So long as you watch the video and kind of look through it a few times, the question should be fairly easy. And then look forward to a few more videos next week. And last but not least, Genius Hour. So you guys have kind of been cheated out of the experience of having your presentations in front of the entire school. So to kind of make up for that, we're going to ask that you guys, starting this week, think about how to compile a brief 5-minute presentation that takes us back through what your project is. So think about explaining your topic again, remind us of some of the research that you did in your Pachakacha presentation, show us some of the tinkering that you've been doing, and then tell us what are your next steps. And it's okay if your next steps are, I'm done with this topic. It's okay if your next steps are, I need to take a step away for a minute. And it's awesome if your next steps are, I'm going to keep going with this over the summer. So it's going to be, like I said, a 5-minute video. You can either upload it to the Flipgrid assignment that I'm going to create. You can make a 5-minute screencastify, and that way you can kind of show us things that you've done on the computer. You can do a 5-minute YouTube video. Either way, 5-minute video of you talking passionately about your Genius Hour project. And I can't wait to see them. And because we've only got 3 weeks of school left and we're already in a rather complicated project, this is not a required element of GSP, but we are highly encouraging it, but also rewarding the 5 top presentations with 20 PBIS points each. So the presentations that are the most passionate, the most well organized, the most in depth with what they've learned are going to be the winners of the PBIS points. So make sure you are not only focusing on the investigative journalism project, but you're also still enjoying your Genius Hour project. And that is all that we have for this week. So I really hope you guys enjoy what we've got for you and have a wonderful third from last week of school.